Yeah, and that's what's fun about charting and having this stuff in Huddle, because you can analyze it so many different ways, so many different filters. Like, a lot of people think just red zone, from the 20 to the 1 yard line. But there are different areas of the red zone. Some people call
Yes.
inside the 10 yard line, inside the 5 yard line, more of that low red zone. And
Yeah,
so
I do that.
you run different plays, right? You run different plays in those areas. And so you can obviously analyze that based on distance in here. You can go ahead and analyze and only filter, hey, from the 1 to the 10 yard line, that low red zone, or from the 5 to the 1. So there are different things that are going to come up, different types of play concepts that are going to come up inside the 5 yard line, whether it's run or pass, versus the 17 yard line, the 19 yard line, or the fringe there. And so one of the things that I noticed, not from a distance standpoint, but when I sorted and went through these plays and really kind of labeled concepts, one, especially pass concepts. Again, we're kind of going through the good stuff, things that are working, the tendencies that are showing up, whether they're good or bad. And one of the things that really came up was smash concepts, Anthony. And so when I sorted through these, you're going to see a lot of these called smash. You're going to see smash, level smash. So a lot of different smash concepts. And a smash concept, to boil it down, to generalize it, is a high-low concept. And it's usually a 2-man route combination. It can be a 3-man, but it's a 2-man or a 3-man route combination that, attacks a defender and puts them in a bind. Do I want to cover the guy low or the cover guy high? One of the most common ones is a hitch with a corner behind it. So that corner is going to be in conflict on what guy he is going to cover. And so teams use this. The Bills especially use this. Why, Anthony? Because smash concepts are good versus what coverage?
Zone coverage, Eric.
Yeah.
Especially, it's particularly those cover 2 coverages where you take that. And for those who don't know, just to be safe, in cover 2, we're talking that corner on the outside has the flat. He's in that type of cloud coverage, and then you have a safety over the top. That's that the honey hole shot type of throw a little bit, where it's
we're gonna see a bunch of them.
Yeah, where you see that over the top safety and that cloud corner underneath. So exactly like Eric has it drawn up here. These are, again, to generalize it, these are both basically smash concepts. So not your traditional hitches from the outside receivers, but the concept is still the same because it leads to a high-low where Josh Allen is reading what's happening underneath and then either going underneath or hitting that corner action from the inside receiver.
Yeah, and this is a play. We're going to go through the smash series because it's one of their number one concepts. I'll say it's their number one concept in the red zone, because and not just the red zone, anywhere, because they see so many of those 2 high coverages. On this play, I want to just highlight, because one of the other tendencies that show up not just in the red zone but outside of the red zone are like switch releases. So you're going to see Knox come across a formation and kind of switch release with Diggs at the bottom. But as Anthony said, it's still a smash concept, still a high-low of the corner. But the Bills love to do this versus man, zone, 1, 2 high. They love doing this because it really puts those defenders, whether they're man or zone, in a pickle, because if it's man coverage, they got to work through traffic. If it's zone coverage, they have to process and space it properly on the fly as the ball snapped, as you see Knox kind of release there. So on this play, it's nothing really happens. You have mirrored smash concepts, different concepts, but they're still high lows. And Josh just tries checking it down, which is a smart move with Singletary underneath, but it's batted down. So not a bad decision, just batted down. So on this play against the Ravens, the Bills run a smash concept, but this is called a smash divide, or a divide smash. And this was a drop by Stephon Diggs. So the Bills have a 3-by-1 to the field. Gabriel Davis isolated to the top of the screen. Devin Singletary running motion to the bottom of the screen, so it becomes 4 eligibles to the bottom of the screen. So 4 guys that the defense, whether they're man or zone, have to account for. Now watch what that little motion does, again, in the red zone. 14-yard line here. So that's going to bring this guy out, and then that opens up the smash divide. That opens up the post here. Again, you got a corner here, and then you just got a little in-breaking or under route by Knox. So this is an amazing concept versus those 2 high looks. The Bills scored several times last year on this type of divide route, but more importantly, at the end of the game, Gabriel Davis, that one over the middle, that was a smash divide concept. It's something that the Bills use against the Chiefs a lot. We're going to see it. But this one, obviously, it was there, like the motion by Singletary. It opened up the middle of the field, but Diggs dropped it on this play, Ant.
Yeah, I was cursing at my TV on this one. I was pretty disappointed. This is the Bills are down 20-3 here. They end up scoring after, so it's okay. But yeah, the concept is fantastic. And this is, again, you're playing into that scouting piece of your opponent. Like, you're anticipating what type of coverage you are going to be seeing in the red zone based on your offense, and also based on what defenses want to do. Like, to whittle it down, when you're in the red zone, defenses usually go more zone coverage. They usually go more two high looks. And then within those two high looks, usually you get more cover two, just because it allows you to really layer your defense and be able to have more answers as you kind of flood all the zones and passing windows. But exactly like you said, Eric, you get that smash concept traditionally to the right, and then you get that post route from Diggs in the middle, and it just works out exactly how you draw it up. But this is pointing to, also, if you're looking at the numbers, and if you're just looking at it from an advanced metric perspective, you're like, well, the Bills are unsuccessful in the red zone on this play, and they are, but it's just due, unfortunately, to one individual error from Stephon Diggs. The concept is there. The timing of the play call is there. Josh Allen's read is there. The ball is there. Everything worked except for the finished product being the catch from Stephon Diggs. This is where, again, we start to add in that context piece to be able to put together that holistic analysis, because at the end of the day, this play is a loss because it didn't lead to, anything positive, and it was a drop, but everything worked except for the play at the catch point, concept, design, timing, throw. This is, again, really putting a holistic perspective on what we think of the Bills in the red zone.
Yeah, and these smash divide concepts are really good at not just targeting the corner on the high-low right here, but it really puts, the safety in a bind too. So if the corner does a good job of covering the under and he's got help right here, that's taken away. The high-low is not necessarily going to work, but now you're moving to the third level, and it puts the safety in conflict, because, you have that guy going to the post, that guy going to the corner, and you can kind of see the safety kind of get caught going to just drifting to the corner. And that safety on the backside is just too far away, because he's got to worry about Gabriel Davis. Obviously, he doesn't go deep here, but he very well could. So he's got to hold on his landmark. So that's why these smash divide concepts are just amazing plays to call with the Bills. And they ran it a good amount last year, but it seems like Dorsey is running in them even more. And you're going to see it here, but this is a different personnel grouping. So you see the smash divide, you see the post in the corner to the top of the screen, the under out by the number one, but Gilliam's running the post here. You have the corner by Knox, so you have a slightly different look there. It's a 3-by-1 with Cook to the weak side of the formation to the bottom, Gabriel Davis running a deep corner. So this again, to the bottom of the screen, to the weak side, aside from the top, is another smash type concept. I know Cook runs the option route here, but that option route could go different ways too. This could easily have been this, depending on the leverage of the linebacker that comes out to meet him. But you're going to see Cook runs the option route over the middle, nice little gap, quick pass to Cook right there. Smash divide, different personnel in the play. Cook, Gilliam running, some of the routes there. Good stuff. So let's flash back to the Chiefs game. In this one, they call this one double China 7. All right, and so top of the screen, 3-man route combination. So this is one of those smash concepts, but you have 3 men in the route here. 2 under routes by the 1 and 2, and then you have Diggs going to the corner. So to the bottom, similar thing, option route by the running back, and then a corner route by Singletary. So that also is, in many ways, a smash concept as well. But watch what happens to the top of the screen, because this is where McKenzie drops it. Watch how they defend Diggs here. So you're going to see them communicating on the defensive side of the ball. And then when the ball is snapped, watch how they screw up the banjo coverage. So they are supposed to switch. So as McKenzie comes in the middle, this guy should have been banjoing and picking up McKenzie, but he doesn't on this play. And this opens up the middle of the field with the Chiefs blitzing. Josh buys enough time, you'll see it from the end zone angle, to get it to McKenzie, but unfortunately he trips and drops the ball.
Yeah, he gets snagged by the turf monster, and it pulls him down on this one, on this 4th and 3. But again, you're sitting there and you're charting this, and it's like, oh, from a percentage standpoint, right? So even this, like, let's tie it back to the very first thing you pulled up in this episode, the GSIS stats. Bills are tied for 18th in red zone touchdown percentage. Oh, they're failing in the red zone. Here's a play. This leads to being like 0 for whatever in the red zone. You're just taking it in a vacuum. So this is one series, 0 for 1 in the red zone. This really should have been a 1 for 1. This should have been a touchdown. The play concept worked, the scheme, the design, it just was a drop at the end. Also, just for people, I want to add a little, context. The double China 7 name for this concept. The 7 is in reference to that corner route that is being
Diggs. Yeah,
the corner route that's being run by Stephon Diggs, and then the double China is in reference to what Gabe Davis is doing and to what Isaiah McKenzie is doing. Gabe Davis is the number 1 receiver, McKenzie as the 2. Again, this was well executed, well read by Josh. It just doesn't get finished at the catch point, and this is all of these pieces of really analyzing, okay, why are we seeing the Bills at tie for 18th in red zone percentage? Is it a problem with execution? Is it a problem with play calls? A problem with play design? Is it the timing of these calls? Is it what the defense is doing? We've now shown 2 back-to-back plays. Well, ideas, with that Diggs drop and the McKenzie drop built within that smash concept and smash world of it just really coming down to, unfortunately, one individual player not executing at the end. But that's where we're starting to really formulate what's the root cause of these problems. What are the potential solutions? When the problem isn't at the scheme or concept level, it's much more encouraging because it's easier.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Yes, it's easier to just fix Timmy has to catch the friggin' ball. That's much easier than being like, this whole concept needs to be reworked. Real quick, Eric, we did get a question from Chris, who we love. Chris says, how do you guys grade Dorsey through the first 6 games? This is something you and I, we've talked about in the film room. We've talked about it offline, just in a variety of ways, with the jury still being out. And we still do have, some things that we're concerned about. But overall, a decently successful start to the year with some things that we would like to see tweaked and potentially worked on as he moves forward.
Yeah, I think he's graded pretty well. I won't put a number or grade on it, but I do think he's, considering this is his first time calling plays at any level
ever.
It's really good. I mean, and of course he's got the ultimate eraser in Josh Allen, but as you can see in a lot of these plays, they're not exotic. They're very calculated. They're very straightforward. Now there are some routes that, give some leeway and leverage to the receiver to kind of break routes and all that stuff. And that'll come down to rapport with Josh Allen and the receivers. But as you can see, some of these plays, like couple drop touchdowns, that is going to increase their red zone percentage. As Anthony said, that's context left out that really would help them, whether it's raw stats or, analytically for advanced stats. But overall, I think he's done some really cool things. We're going to point out some more things on top of Smash, on top of the switch releases, some cool things. But I will say, it's been simple and very effective. But I wonder long-term, as I said in the film room last week, I wonder long-term when teams get more film and they are able to shut down some of those simple concepts and they have the talent to match up in those crunch times, I wonder how he will respond, how the offense will respond, because I think he's being more efficient and he's drawing up plays to be more efficient, but yet they're getting some of those explosives still. So it's great. It's a good balance when you compare Dorsey to Daboll's, aggressiveness and play style. But long-term, we're only 6 games in. I want to see, as teams get more film on him, how he is able to react and how the offense kind of, counters or transitions, because it's going to happen. This is the NFL.
Yeah, I'm in a very similar boat. I like the dials that he's turned week to week based on opponent, whether it's, formational alignments, whether it's putting Stephon Diggs in the slot, whether it's using more 21 or 12 personnel, all these different things. I like the buttons that he's pressing and the times that he's pressing them. But exactly, Eric, to your point, we got to see what that looks like going forward, as all of those buttons that he's pressing and all of those dials that he's turning, teams are going to be able to see him press those buttons and turn those dials. How does he counter then, knowing how people are going to anticipate his game plans coming into games? That's really what it is, right? When everybody has the entire book on you and knows all the possible things that you can do, what do you call and when do you call it in order to stay one step ahead and still execute?
And it's a great question and segue from Chris there, because you're going to see on this play, I have it titled level, smash, switch, follow. So let's walk through that. Again, levels, you're having several levels coming across the middle from the bottom of the screen. You got your smash concept because it is a high-low, but it's a high-low outside, kind of targeting the corner. But I like this. I talked about switch releases and stacking receivers in a couple of our video breakdowns and some of our film rooms, but to the bottom. So if the Ravens were in man coverage here, you're going to see these receivers kind of switch. That's like an old air raid type concept, run and shoot concept. It's something the Bills have done a lot of, but we're seeing it even more so this year. And you see McKenzie kind of switch release with Gabriel Davis, and that's great because you can see how that corner inside has to work through that that coverage and it almost automatically lifts the coverage off of McKenzie there. But I also like it because the route he's running, as I drew up, it becomes a good zone beater too. So if they're in zone coverage, you're just moving. It's just going to be kind of unfold differently on the defensive side of the ball. And you still have a high-low working to the middle of the field, which you can see is open. But Josh is targeting to the top of the screen here. And another little nuance, and I talked about having, options for receivers. Watch this route by Diggs. He's running that under route, so it looks very similar to that high-low in-breaking route with a corner behind it by Knox. But based on the leverage of that defender, he can snap it back out to the sideline. But Josh is already dialed in here, and he's throwing it to Dawson Knox with pressure in his face. Very similar route to the Chiefs game, Anthony, and you can see Josh nail that throw before he's hit.
Yeah, it's really good job from Josh Allen to hang in the pocket and deliver this on time and with good ball placement to Dawson Knox. I also love the way Knox right here, bang, the way he snaps that route off, like he gets into his man and starts to lean on him a little bit, uses that size, and then bang, snaps it right off. There's no extension from the inside arm to draw OPI. It's just him using leverage and his athleticism and quickness to snap it off. Josh makes the good read, recognizes the coverage, hangs in there, delivers his ball on time. This angle really kind of, puts it in perspective. Is like he feels Queen and he sees him coming. And this is something that Patrick Queen, like he's had struggles in coverage at times. He's a monster coming forward, whether it's, against the run or in these, pass blitz scenarios. So this is a good job from him. He delays, he splits Singletary and Morse. Yeah, he really does. Like, and I'm thinking that's what that is. Like, he reads that Singletary is coming in and is like, screw it, I'm going. Bang, pinballs, gets right through. But Josh reads it because, again, he knows that concept he has on the backside, recognizes the coverage, and you see him peek in the middle, and then he peeks to the right, and you see him read what's going on. He gives one quick last little glance to his right, and then is like, nah, okay, cool, I know what I got on the backside. And then right as he gets hit, it's a really good play from Josh Allen and a good route from Dawson Knox, who we haven't talked a lot about this year. He's been banged up, but, when he's been able to flash a little bit, we're seeing that athleticism and that, him using his size in a more technical way.
Yeah, and I mean, this is an incomplete pass versus the Steelers. Bills in a 2x2 set, and you have that motion and that switch release. Like these concepts are, they're base concepts, and that means everyone needs to be able to run them. So this is Gilliam, or actually Morris coming across the formation, running that switch release, but it's still a high-low. He's breaking inside. You have Diggs to the corner. You got a corner and under route to the top of the screen. So simple concept. We've seen it a couple times. Josh isn't able to fit it in the window here. That's an incomplete pass versus the Steelers. Here's a smash go. This is one that was dropped by Davis. So again, red zone look, 2nd and 12 situation. In route or under route to the top, corner route by Morris. Bottom of screen looks like a slot option from Crowder. And Josh Allen sees these safeties back there, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna target Gabriel Davis here because these guys are working almost like Kansas City. Watch the top of the screen. Watch that safety right there. Look at him working with that corner. As Diggs comes across the middle, you see him driving on that. So a very similar coverage in the red zone to Diggs, and that's what teams want to do. Diggs is the number one targeted wide receiver in the red zone for the Bills. He has 11 targets. The second guy, Anthony, which is crazy and something we're going to talk about later, is Devin Singletary.
Wild.
Devin Singletary has 7 targets in the red zone, which is second most on the team. Last year, he had 7 as well over the course of the entire regular season, and that was 6th on the team. So, again, that's not something I want to see continuing going on unless that's Cook and they're working backside option route concepts. Yes. But they need to get others involved, including Knox, including Gabriel Davis. But on this play, he gets the one-on-one right here with Gabriel Davis. And usually Gabriel Davis brings us down as he turns his back there. But that defender made a good play on this one.
Yes. I was going to say, this is you want to see Gabriel Davis make this catch and bring it in and secure it. But watch the punch right through the hands, right on the ball. That's literally like textbook. That's how you practice it. That's how it's drawn up. That's what you want to see if you're a defensive coordinator or a defensive backs coach. This is beautiful. He's eyeballing it the whole way. This wasn't an accident. That corner watches the ball, watches Davis catch it, knows that he's beat, and his only chance is to punch it out. So absolutely great play from the corner. And again, simplistic read from Josh. He sees what the safeties are doing. He has trust and faith in Gabriel Davis. He's going to take that one-on-one shot down low. And I love how you tied it in with what the Dolphins did up top against Diggs. It's very similar to what the Chiefs did on that Dawson Knox touchdown last week in Kansas City.
No, definitely, man. And it's something that we're going to talk about. Same game here. We have a smash with a switch and curl route. So let's get this play diagrammed up. So again, top of the screen, you have kind of that switch release. They're running more of a curls concept up there. But then you have the smash concept to the bottom between Gilliam and Dawson Knox. And watch as the Dolphins send that cat blitz, that corner blitz right here. It's an easy read right here. And this is what I like about this. You know, this safety is usually replacing over the top. But this guy, the hook to curl defender, has to respect the depth vertically by Knox. So Josh, it's an easy read. Smash concept, high-low, get it to Gilliam and get positive yards on that play. Simple plays. And these are, again, smash concept's one of the oldest plays in the book. And the Bills are just running it, and they're running it at a pretty good clip. So here is the smash curl wheel against the Chiefs. So it's disguised really well. You have one-on-ones to the bottom of the screen. This safety is going to come down on Knox. And this is probably why the Bills ran it later in the game. But watch Diggs to the top. You get that switch release, which is great versus man coverage. But Josh is working that too high smash concept to the bottom. He misses Diggs to the top. But again, he stays ahead of chains. He just dumps it down to Singletary on that play, and they're able to get 4 yards. So you can see early in the game, let's see the timestamp on this one. This was 11:03 of the first quarter when they ran that play. And again, Josh didn't go to Knox, but getting one-on-one with Knox on a safety, they want to take advantage of in the red zone, Anthony. And obviously they did later on this play from the fourth quarter. Time's running, 1:37 on the clock, and it's running. It's a 2nd and 12 situation. Different formation, different personnel. But when you look at some of the concepts, they're very similar. So you get motion from McKenzie behind Davis. You have that muddied look, that muddied release because of the stack formation and kind of switch release. But to the bottom, they got the one-on-one look with Knox and the safety, and it came in an odd way because watch the safety to the bottom of the screen. He comes down and basically is doubling Diggs, but it's kind of a bad move from him to show this way because Diggs is just running a little diagonal route to the flats. So it's that smash concept, but it also kind of jammed up Dawson Knox here because normally when you're running that corner route, that defender should be inside and you want Knox running away from that. But that route is choked off and closed off by that defender. And Josh, in a video Chris did earlier this morning, put out, he was on the Kyle Brandt podcast and he talked about, he's pointing to Knox like, hey, go to the middle of the field because the middle of the field's wide open. But Knox's back was already to Josh. And as he's turning, he's like already running to the corner. So Josh is like, you know what? Screw it. I'll throw it to a point. Let Dawson Knox go get it. But again, a smash concept versus the Chiefs, one of their main concepts from this year. This one ended in a touchdown. Just great work between Allen and Knox here. But Dorsey, again, he loves these concepts in the red zone.
Yeah, and it's something, you're tying it into, I think, the play you saw before, like what type of game that the Chiefs are going to run on the back end when it comes to Stephon Diggs. So he goes to this look later. This is something that I think realistically you could sit and say he called this knowing, okay, we're going to run this look into the boundary. Yep. We ran it earlier in the game. They bracketed Diggs. That means Knox is going to be one-on-one. This is a good call. I've got my big athletic tight end in man coverage against one of the safeties for the Chiefs. And it also looks like a little bit here on this one. It looks like Bush and Reed, the two safeties there, Reed is 20, Bush is 26. It looks like they get confused a little bit. Like Reed almost looks like he's going for Diggs. Like if you watch where his head is, like almost like he's going to be the bracketing safety. And then he peeks back in. And again, it kind of jams Knox up a little bit, but puts himself out of position. Knox gets around. So I don't know if that's a miscommunication piece on the Chiefs end, but this is my favorite part. One, the throw from Allen. This throw is stupid good. Like the fact that he gets it over Bush.
And he said he recognized him. He recognized that he would be under the pass on this route and throw to Knox. Like that is mind-boggling, the amount of processing and time span it takes to do that in real time. It's just crazy, man. That's why quarterbacks are really the guys that are given a lot of the flowers, and more times than not, when things go bad, they also get the brunt of that criticism. But this is just unreal processing.
The fact that he can in real time, because also think about it too, like most people, I think people are more tuned into time to throw numbers. And so you've got throws that are happening in like 2.5 to 3 seconds. So all within 2.5 to 3 seconds, Josh is dropping back. He's reading the rush that's coming in front of him, maneuvering how he has to. Then he's reading the coverage. Then he's recognizing what's going on underneath the man he wants to throw the ball to. And then he's physically executing.
Yeah. Shout out to Saffold here. Shout out to Saffold real quick. Sorry to interrupt you, but his ability to anchor on this play, it really just took the fight to Chris Jones on the end of this drive and just anchors down right there. And like you said, the processing and then to get the throw up over Jones, but also that secondary defender was remarkable.
Huge piece from Roger Saffold. Like this, to your point, like this is winning time for Chris Jones. Like this is what he gets paid for, like to on 2nd and 12 in a non-advantageous spot for the Bills offense when they need to score. Like this is where he's pinning his ears back and Saffold locks him up, anchors down. And then I love how Knox, you said it earlier, how he comes back to the ball. Watch how he comes through Reed a little bit and comes through back to this ball. It's slight, but he attacks it. He doesn't wait for it to come to him. He works back to the football a little bit through Reed and makes this play. But again, this is everything. This is also too, like, to tie it all in with what we've been doing in this episode, tie it back into the Diggs drop before and the McKenzie drop, or McKenzie falls down and it leads to the drop. These are all these things that have to work right because you're in this condensed part of the field. Yeah. It's tying in things from earlier and putting the breadcrumbs together earlier in the game, right? With Dorsey being like, we ran this concept earlier. This is what the Chiefs did. We think if we do it in the same type of scenario, which again, it's very close, red zone formation into the, that into the boundary concept, smash concept into the boundary. You're playing off of that. You need the individual execution. Josh needs to recognize it. Knox needs to recognize it. All these pieces, like there's so many moving parts that really affect the outcome of any one individual play. And this is why we study the metrics combined with the film so we can properly chart and analyze and be able to put it together in order to provide you folks with that content. So when one of you asks us, hey, what's going on with the Bills red zone? We're not just like, well, they're 18th, so they're not good. Like we can properly analyze and put it together.